so sick. You make me itch. You burn my skin. Still you I want to hold. You're so sick. You make me itch. I toss and I turn and my fingers twitch. The thought of you, it burns my skin to the bone. And still you I want to hold. Take it back, too much to unpack. The hate in your head and heart that you lack. The thought of you, it burns my skin to the bone. And I can't leave you alone. You're so sick, you're selfish, it's endless. Still you I want to hold. I miss how we used to be weightless. And I can't leave you alone.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, hello, welcome to Post-Mortem with your boy, LNobbins. I have set the wrong profile. I'm in YouTube mode, I forgot to change it. Apologies, so the chat's going to look a little bit messed up compared to usual. Apologies for that. Leave a like on the video, despite the terrible professionalism by your boy. We're going to talk about the game, as we always do. We will do player ratings as well. We will talk about what we liked, what did we not like, anything we noticed that was different, anything we noticed which was not different, for better or worse. How are we all doing? We're just beating Leeds at Elland Road, which is very, very nice. Yeah, that's the first thing to say, I suppose, is if we want to win the title, and I'd like to win the title, that'd be quite nice, in fairness, wouldn't it? I think we had to win today. This was going to be one where, if we had to have any chance, any hope, any prayer, then we were going to have to win it ultimately, and we did. So that's a bonus 2 points because I felt that a draw was quite likely to happen. So the fact that we have gotten away with it there is pretty big and is pretty special, in my opinion. I was late, Blaze, by the way. Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies. It just took me a bit longer than I thought to record the off-the-ball video, but there will be one. I'd like to win the titles as Austin. Wouldn't we all, matey? Wouldn't we all? Big up to you, Austin, one of my beautiful hardcore ultras. Yeah, so if we did want to win the league, then we would have to, I think, win this game. That's now an extra 2 points in my head, and I guess an extra 4 because Arsenal ultimately also dropped 2 points. So I've got a lot to say about today. Some of it positive, some of it negative. I'm going to accept. I'm going to own up to that right now. Negative Nobbins is going to be coming out for portions of this stream. So apologies if you don't like that. I know lots of people don't like that, but I can't lie and be all positive all the time. Because I do think there are some bad things that we do need to talk about, to be honest with you. But there's also lots of good things as well. So there's hopefully going to be some nice balance today. Set up, first of all, a lineup, actually, I suppose, first of all, because we were without Big Erling. Which was a massive, he's a massive absence, of course. Especially if we are playing a game which is way more reliant on physicality, winning duels, winning battles, when teams go man-to-man, pressing against us. What's one way to circumvent that? Well, we know what the solution can be. It can be to play over the press, and it can be for Haaland to go 1v1, as he did against Dan Burn recently, for example. Hold up the play, get City up the pitch, that sort of thing. So him not being on the pitch was big. He was a big miss in that sense, because that's one of our best outlets gone. Semenyo, fantastic outlet, of course. Haaland, he attracts players like I don't think any other City player. So us being without him was massive. And I suppose that's a positive in a way that we were able to win without him. So that's good as well. That was the lineup. The only real difference, I think, from the Newcastle starting 11, I think the only difference, anyway, is that Shirky came in for Haaland, and that was just because Haaland got a knock in training, he wasn't available. My prediction would be that if Haaland were available, we wouldn't have seen Shirky start the game. We would have seen a Semenyo play there instead, and we've seen Haaland basically where Shirky would have been. Yeah, Doku back on the bench, that is big. And Savio coming on as well. I think that's really good in the final 10 games of the season. You want as big a squad as possible. this is good. You don't want injuries right now. Unfortunately, O'Reilly's was injured. We'll get to those players, of course. So yeah, basically the same approach as against Newcastle in that sense, minus Shirky playing due to the injury situation. What do I want to say now? What do I want to say next? Oh, I'll briefly touch on what the setup was. I feel like there's very little to talk about setup recently because it's essentially been the same City every single time. It's the diamond out of possession. It was the exact same setup as against Fulham, I think it was, except Semenyo was where Foden was, and you had a front two of Shirky and Marmoush instead of Haaland and whoever it would have been that day. I think Haaland and Semenyo it was that day. If you've got a pairing, and this has been, with the Shirky conversation's interesting, I think, for the off-ball, because I've been quite consistent with my thoughts on Shirky, out of possession anyway. And that is, if you are going to have him leading the press, I don't have a problem with that, so long as he is paired with a player who is elite off ball in respect of the intensity. So whether that's Foden, whether it's Semenyo, or in the case of today it was Marmoush. So those as a duo did seem to work because we know that Marmoush is this incredibly intense forward presser. You had Semenyo as the right centre midfielder in the diamond. When we went to an in possession, as I just dropped some paper there, we went to, I think, what we did against Liverpool. So Shirky played where Semenyo normally would have done. And we had a forward two of Semenyo, Marmoush, and Bernardo dropped back to the right side of the diamond, I think. I think that was the general structure, on ball and off ball. Nothing too interesting to note necessarily. There was one interesting change in City's approach, though. Something that we've never seen before from City. Something that I can't really remember any City sides doing. Maybe it's just because I've never noticed it before, but I certainly can't recall this. We dropped two midfielders into our box on goal kicks. That was interesting. We split the centre-backs really wide. The full-backs both pushed up. And we had both Bernardo and Rodri. Yeah, exactly, Marzo. Yeah, we had both Bernardo and Rodri in the box on the goal kick. Now, this makes sense for a couple of reasons. In theory, we'll touch on the reality. In theory, why would you want to do that? Why would a team ever want to do that in the first instance? Let's first explore that, and then we'll explore what the positives and negatives are therein. Why would you want to do that? You'd only really want to do that if you felt that... Because let's look at the profile of player they were as well. So it was Rodri and... Yeah, exactly. Better build-up, exactly. Arguably, City's two best build-up players on the pitch, I would say. At that time, anyway, Rodri and Bernardo. So you'd want them in the box because you understand and appreciate the build-up is a flaw for you. The build-up is a weakness. Therefore, you would want those players to help out and to hold the weak link's hand. That makes a lot of sense. It's not the first time we've seen that happen. It's not the first time we've seen this happen. It's the first time we've seen it happen with two midfielders, I'm pretty sure. We've seen Bernardo do it. We've seen Rodri do it. I think we saw Reinders do it at times as well in pre-season. I don't think we've seen two players do it, though. So we're doubling down in that sense. So that's the concept of it. It didn't really work, though. So why didn't it work? It didn't really work because even when those players are able to, and this was one of my... This was a solution, not two players, granted, just the one. The potential issue with doing that is, okay, you drop a player back, fine, but that means that the midfielder is now not in midfield. So it means that when you do ultimately, hopefully, get through that first initial wave of pressure, you're now a -1 in the second line of pressure. And City actually made themselves a -2 in the second line of pressure by doubling down on it. So it meant that even if we got out of that first wave, we then didn't really have the bodies to deal with it. So That's why it didn't really work, and that got abandoned quite quickly. Lots of people this season, and I will come to the chat in a second, I just like to do my monologue first of all. Lots of people have asked me this season, why, and this is the negative bit of the video, by the way, I will get into lots of positives. Lots of people have asked me this season, like, why are teams reluctant to engage City in first halves like they do second halves? And my answer to that has mainly been that it's risky to do that. Because if you do that, then you're committing lots of bodies forwards very early in the game. You don't want to lose the game before it's even started. Very few teams have been brave enough to do that against us, but it has worked every single time. Arsenal did it, Newcastle did it, and now Leeds have done it. And I'm sure maybe there's another couple of examples there, but straight from the off, I can't remember too many. So Leeds engaged really high very early on. And the first 20-25 minutes of that game, oh my, we were hanging on. We were hanging on. Calvert-Lewin could have had a brace. Anderson, one was offside, I think, but another one was not offside. Leeds could have scored 2 or 3 goals in those first 20-25 minutes. And as I say, we were not hanging on because of like amazing defensive work, that sort of thing. We were getting exposed time and time again, and we just simply could not hold on to the ball. We went long, it didn't stick, and it didn't work. So we struggled in those first 20-25 minutes. Now, thankfully, and I wonder if it's because of simply physical exertion, and because it's very hard to play like that for an extended period of time, like full pelt, minute after minute, relentless pressure and energy against a good side, again, a good physical side like City as well. It's very hard to play like that consistently. Leeds, I don't think that we did anything differently from around 25 minutes onwards. I think Leeds backed off. And I think that's maybe because they had to from an athletic POV, perhaps. A more clinical side does punish us, unfortunately. Which is my biggest gripe, that a better side does punish us, unfortunately. We kept giving away the ball, it's nothing new, and hey, if it were a one-off, I wouldn't even be talking about it necessarily, but it's the fact that we literally saw it last week against Newcastle, and we've seen it so many times this season as well. So unfortunately, the issues of our past are still in our present. It remains to be seen whether they will be in our future. I do think that if we are to win the title, we will need to improve. This will not do it, in my opinion. I think it's way too early in the season to be playing like this. I disagreed with what Richard said after the game ended, where he said, look, it's the title running, you just need to get the win now. Don't agree. Final 5 games? Sure. Not the final 12. And we've been playing like that, well, even before then. But we played against Newcastle, the 12th game, this one, the 11th, and we've got 10 more to go. Still 30 points to play for. I think it's too early to do that. That's not to say that we can't improve or get better, and I'm not shitting on the performance. I will get into positives, guys, don't worry. I know I've started negatively, but I just want to get it out of the way, and just because I feel it's dishonest to not do that. I don't think we can win the title playing like that. We will need to up the levels. Standards FC, yeah? I think, and I think we can. In a theoretical world, I think we can up the levels. I need to see it, though. I thought we made progress against Fulham. In my opinion, we've gone backwards a little bit since then. So I'm not yet convinced. I need to see it on the pitch. Seeing is believing sometimes, and I need to see it before I properly... You guys know the analogy. I'm on the train station. Do I have lipstick on? I don't think I'm wearing it today. I'm at the train station. I've got my ticket for the. I've got the ticket for the title race train. But I'm looking at the timetable and I'm debating. Do I want to get that train, which changes at Crewe, or do I want to get this one, which is 2 changes, but it's slightly quicker to get there? I'm still undecided. I'm on the platform. There's 2 trains to go on. I haven't quite decided which one to go on yet, so I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be any updates on, like, because that train's delayed right now. I'm waiting to see if that's a better bet or not. So my train isn't stubbed. It's an open return, yeah? It's an open return. So yeah, Leeds backed off, and again, this is why I will be positive about it, but this is why I'm not going to be overly positive, because yes, we did do better in the second half, of course. Now, I'm going to repeat, I will get into that, but the main thing for me was, this is more so what did our opponents do differently, rather than what we forced our opponents to do. That's why I can't be overly happy, because once again, it all seems to be based on what the opponent ends up doing generally speaking, as a pattern this season, rather than what we do. That's why I'm still not uber happy with the performance. Those are my 2 cents on the negatives. I am going to get into the positives now because I appreciate that, you know, it's nice to be happy. It's nice to be happy. So that is a state of play. Those are my immediate thoughts. Let me just catch up on the chat, and then I will go into the positives. And yes, absolutely, I will get into that. I wanted to preface everything. If this was a one-off, I would not have opened this stream as negative as I have done. But it's not, for me, it's invalid to say, but Leeds are really good or have been at home, blah, 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 blah. Because what happened last week at home against Newcastle? What happened at Anfield? What happened in all these other games that we've seen nearly every single season? If it were a one-off, I wouldn't care. I'd move on with my pathetic life. Pattern, 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 pattern. My lens is not through this game. My lens is through the season. And that is what I'm seeing. Yeah. But I will now go into the chat, and then I will touch on some positives. This is from earlier. Rodri was poopy. Love that from Musty. I'd like to win the title, to be fair, says Austin. Absolutely. Defense day getting better. Oh, I've got a lot to say about Ruben Diaz. We can't rely on other teams to help us against Arsenal, says Stephen. We just need to keep winning and beat them ourselves. Totally agree that if we are to win the league, a win against Arsenal is non-negotiable. That is a non-negotiable win. I think 3 things have to happen from Arsenal's perspective for us to win the title. Bare minimum 3. One of them's already happened. They need to drop points 3 times. 3 times. It's happened once, and that's including us beating them at the Etihad. So excluding what we end up doing, I think they have to drop points a further 2 times. Yes? Wolves has happened already. Good. I need one more Arsenal defeat, though, or one more drop, though. So unfortunately, we can't really rely on them, but we have to rely on them at the same time. Does that make sense? We have to do our job against them at the Etihad, but we also do logistically, I think, because I don't think we're going to win every single game from now to the end of the season. We just aren't, in my opinion. That would be incredible if we did. Of course it would. But that would be how many wins in a row in the league? 14? 15? I can't remember what the record was this season. For I think our current record is like 6 or 7 wins in a row in the league. We're going to drop points somewhere, whether that's at Stamford Bridge, whether it's on the last day of the season against Aston Villa, whether it's an annoying home game against Palace. I don't know. Doom and Gloomer. Yeah, that is good news. Sanish, absolutely. I'll touch on Kusanov and Diaz. Roger and Bernat, yeah, we touched on that. Definitely, that was interesting to see. He was class. Off ball, I agree. On ball, no, I don't agree. How many yellows has Don have? He has 6. 6, I think it is this season. They should have scored at least 2 or 3, but we could have scored 3 or 4, but we won. So 1-0, says Callum. Yeah, and the start of that is why I'm just a bit. It is why I started this stream and touching it, because to say that I saw someone say we didn't give Leeds anything. That's just blue tinted glasses, I'm afraid. And hey, I'm the biggest fan of having vibes and just being biased and not acknowledging any bad things. But to say that City gave nothing to Leeds tonight is foolish, I'm afraid, because objectively we did. There was a period of time, thankfully, that's not ultimately what happened in that first half, but there was like a period of time where I think they had like 60% of the ball and they had nearly 1 whole XG compared to our 0 shots. So unfortunately, we did give them a lot. We gave them a Calvert-Lewin chance where it was basically an open goal and he somehow missed it. There was another Calvert-Lewin chance, tight finish in fairness. There was an Anderson shot as well, I think, which he somehow missed also. There were a lot of chances that we gave up tonight. So it's fine to talk about good individual moments, and we will do, but we can't ignore and be happy clappers, as they say. But you guys know me, I'm not a happy clapper. I try to be objective. Try to be objective and fair, and it's a thing. Leeds fans are embarrassing. Yeah, quick one on this. I would be embarrassed. I'll go over this quickly because I appreciate you don't subscribe here for politics, even though this isn't politics, it's just insane. A quick one on this. If I were a Leeds fan, I'd be embarrassed by what those Leeds fans were doing. There are some athletes who are fasting, who want to break their fast. If you boo during that, you are scum, in my opinion. And I just think you are a horrible human being, quite frankly. No regrets at all. I just think you're scum for doing that. There's Muslim players on the pitch. We have lots of Muslim followers on this channel. It's disgusting that people are so pathetic and precious that they can't wait 30 seconds so that someone fasting can have some fluids. It's a quick one on that. And if you think differently, please unsubscribe. Quite frankly, I do not want you on my channel. So that was a little PSA. So shout out Happy Ramadan and all that. I don't know what the correct term is. Ramadan Mubarak, is it? Yeah. Shout out and fuck those people that booed. Yeah? Fuck them. That's what I want to say on that. I've got lipstick on. Yeah. Always. Says, I think we will. Last season collapsed. Team matured later in the season. I hope you're right, matey. I think Docker coming back will bring Haaland in form and goals in general. Yeah, Docker coming back is big. It's big. Yeah, Docker will be important. 100%. Yeah, I want to talk about Nori especially. Shirky was lovely as well, but I want to talk about Nori definitely. Yeah, don't agree, Taurus. We gave Newcastle a lot, and we gave Cersa gave Leeds a lot. No, I know. I absolutely, yeah. We're 4 points better off. We're 4 points better off than I thought we were going to be in this title race at this stage. No, Foden's not. If there is one thing I will not lose sleep on, guys, it is the future of Phil Foden at this football club. Don't worry, guys. He'll be here for another decade or so. The real question is, how many years is he staying? Because it's like at least 8. Don't worry about it. Went missing for 25 minutes. I don't know what's gone on. Says Clark. It's just what's happened all season. But we're now going to talk about the good things now, hopefully. Big up to you, Clark. Absolutely. Ramadan Mubarak. Yeah, big up to Ramadan. Big up. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Or it'll be like a Gerrard, where he stays here his whole career and then has a play in MLS and then retires. Or like Lampard. I mean, no, Lampard came to us, but you know what I mean. Like basically, the vast majority of Chelsea then has a play in MLS. It'll be the same idea. Easy. Yeah, exactly. True citizen. But for all intents and purposes, he will. Yeah. It's fair to say Holland's so many YouTube so people crying like you have less. Yeah, Holland's a fraud, and I'm gonna call him out right now. Yeah, I'm calling him out right now. My content's better than yours. Holland, cheeky collab. Do you want to link up? Don't forget to hashtag Hobbins. Hashtag Hobbins. I'll never give up the lipstick. Hello. Yeah, definitely, Cams. 100%. Brief aside, I want to talk about the positives, though. Foden hasn't really been the side recently, and I actually felt he played well in his most recent appearances. I think what's fascinating is that you've got these economists on Twitter who clearly business-minded, and they say things like, we shouldn't be giving this player a contract because right now they're not going through some good form. Opposite. What you do not want to do, realistically, ideally, is give a player a contract when they are going through an amazing upturn in form. Why? What do you think their salary expectations are going to be? If this player is like going through an unbelievable purple patch, that's the last time you want to give them a contract, surely, because they're going to demand more money, because they can demand more money, because they're going to say, look how important I am to this team. Give me more money. I can't remember the exact situation. I think it was Sterling at an international tournament, and it backfired. He didn't have a good tournament. But the idea was he didn't sign a contract because he wanted to go to the tournament, perform really well, get more money. If anything, it's the opposite. You want them to be signing a contract when they don't have as much bargaining power. So this whole idea that, don't sign a contract until like these, until scoring goals again. That's a nonsense thing to say. If they're a really quality player, it's just a nonsense thing to say. So yeah, that was just a little aside. But yeah, big up to you, Cams. Absolutely agree. Yeah, hashtag Hobbins. Excellent. Yeah, exactly, Blaze. It's gonna happen. Shut up, true citizen. Oh, Hadley, these people, they can't hack it, can they? They can't hack it. They can't hack it. Okay, let's now talk about the positives of the game, shall we? So I've started off negative, but I've got the bad stuff out of the way, and when we get into our general discussion, we'll talk about it a bit more. So what were the good things about the game? Well, the first thing is that we hung on. Despite the fortuitous nature of the Leeds finishing, at the end of the day, City hung on. They weathered the storm. They rode their luck, fine. But they came out of it, the other end, squeaky clean. Okay, Leeds backed off, and that was their decision. But we took advantage of it. It was their fault for backing off, whether that was physically enforced, whether it was tactical, whatever it was. We took advantage of that. Same way against Liverpool. If you remember my Anfield review, I was not especially positive about that performance. But what I did give us credit for was when Slot bottled it, and for some reason stopped pressing, we took advantage of that. It's the analogy was they opened the door, but we still had to walk through it. And Leeds did the same thing. Okay, they gave us an into the game, but it's not enough to just be given a gift. You have to then open the present, yeah? If I sit there on Christmas Day and I'm just surrounded by presents, I just don't open any, I'm not going to get any presents, am I? Well, I've got presents, but I'm not going to see what they are. I'm not going to have the joy of Christmas. I don't know what that example or allegory was, but there we go. Leeds gave us a beautiful Lego set. I still had to build it. I had to open that shit and prepare it and put it on display. That's what City did today. From like 25, from the 25th minute through to, I'm going to say around 80, City were great. City were really, really good. I think someone said professional. Totally agree with that assessment. Totally agree. Passing sequences were really, really good. We created a good number of chances. Nico O'Reilly should have scored a goal. Semenyo obviously did score a goal. Fortunate timing, but we still did it. Loads of other occasions where we had a good number of chances at goal as well. You don't get on Sky Sports? Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Loads of chances were created in that period. Yeah, and when Shirky was able to get on the ball as well, that was very, very lovely, wasn't it? Okay, we slowed it down. I get it that that's not to a lot of City fans' taste. I get it that we want to play, people want us to play quicker, more exciting, but against Leeds away, I don't think that's how you want to play. You want to kill the crowds who are clearly very raucous and emotional, and they were so clearly offended by what transpired in the game. You want to kill them. The ball moves faster than the man. You want to tire them out. You want to make them physically exhausted, so that in the later stages of the game, when they do up their pressing intensity, they can't do it for as long. Make them run, make them move around, make them chase the ball. And that's exactly what we did. And the goal was coming, in fairness. I think that's fair to say. If you give Shirky loads of time on the ball because you're not pressing him, he is capable of making a moment of magic. If you're too passive, our players will punish you. Have we been perfect this season? No. Have we scored the most goals this season? Yes. If you settle against us, we will fuck you, okay? We will fuck you hard if you are passive against us. That's what Shirky did. That's what Aitnori did. And of course, that's what Semenyo did. We fucks them. And we ultimately won the game. Oh my god. Right, anyway, moving on. Yeah, so it's their own fault. It's their own fault. We took advantage. And it could have been, oh, here we go again, second half. Here we go again, second half FC, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, Leeds didn't come on to us. But they had they had no offensive work. What were their shooting numbers even in that second half, guys? Am I okay? I'm great. I'm having a great time. Are you guys having a great time? I am. I'm having a great time. Let's see. So they had a nothing shot in the 50th minute, yeah? Keep it PG. Definitely not. This is not a PG channel. 0 saves. There you go, Cams. That's illustrating my point perfectly. So they had... What do they have? They had a nothing set-piece shot in the 48th minute. Calvert-Lewin... Oh, that was a Nunes block, to be fair. Then 50th minute, they had a shot, which was nothing from a throw-in. Literally nothing. And then when was their next shot? 85th minute. So from minutes 50 through to 85, they did nothing. Nothing. That is 35 minutes of domination is essentially what that is. That, when you are 1-0 up, that is what I want to see from my City team. That is what I want from my City team. So here is the momentum chart. So let's have a look at the second half. So yeah, this okay. So they came out a little bit at the start, but then look at that. Nothing, literally nothing up until the 80th minute. That was in the final 10 minutes. I'll repeat. That was a Leeds decision. That was a conscious effort by them. But still, we kept the ball really well. We gave them literally nothing in that period. What I want to see now, the next step for me in the evolution of the City side is I need that second half to also be... It can't be... I get it. It can't be there for 90 minutes because that's unreasonable. Even the best City sides couldn't control the opponent for an entire 90 minutes. I get that that's not reasonable. I just need to see it. I need to see us approach games like this when the opponent comes on to us. When the opponent doesn't come on to us, we don't have a problem. It's fine. The next step for me, and maybe it's just to do with maturity, maybe it's to do with because the City side's very young and they're quite new, but that's what I want to see. Maybe like the rest of the season's too optimistic. Certainly it's what I want to see next season and beyond. That is how this City side goes from whatever we are now to winning titles on a more consistent basis again, and going back to that. We need to rediscover that consistency when the opposition comes on to us. If we can do that, we are going to be the best team in the world again. I'm very convinced of that. So that's a positive. That's a positive thing to say. Kept the ball really well. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Was it slow? Was it patient? Was it boring? Yes. Good. I'm winning 1-0 at Leeds. Tricky opponent. Good. This is fine. This is lovely. What I don't want to do is go too hard, too quickly, and lose the ball. Basketball game follows. We will lose a basketball game against Ellen Road. The first 25 minutes told us that. Minutes 25 through to 80 told us that. We are going to be way better playing fucking curling or some slow sport compared to basketball. So that was a good professional approach from City for most of that game. Negativity aside, which I've already gone into. If you joined late, you've missed my negativity discussion. Anything else to say? Any other key talking points from the game? We will get into player ratings on an individual level, don't you worry. We've got over 200 people watching, and I've not got triple-digit likes. You guys are bums. You guys are freeloaders. You guys aren't paying rent. This is a free market economy, and in this economy, you pay by leaving likes on the video, yes? So leave a like on the video, or I will expel you from this stream. Yeah? Yeah? Melody's paid rent? Love that from you. But I need more people to be paying rent. Yeah? Leave a like on the video. It's free. Help support the channel. Guys, what else would we like to talk about before we get on to player ratings? Any other key themes you would like us to touch on before we do that? Let me know. Let me know. What would you like to talk about? Let me know in the chat. Yeah? Please, you know I don't have an agenda, but yes, the main reason why we struggled in those 20 to 25 minutes was because the goalkeeper isn't very good at building out from the back. That is also why we had two midfielders in the box. That's why you have to have two. That's why we've even experimented with it. A collab coming soon, haul and analysis. Yes, exactly, Sanish, exactly. City's tennis struggling. Yes, absolutely. We were professional. Yeah, absolutely. In that second half, 100%. We've touched on that. I don't know if there's any update on the injury, to be honest with you. To be honest, I see a disconnect with. This is interesting. I see a disconnect with Rodri and Shirky, but when they connect going forward, it's good. Yes, and the Shirky one makes sense because I've been a big defender of Shirky, a big defender, big advocate of him, and it's reasonable because it's his first season. I know he's experience, but he is only 22 in a new league, new club, new teammates, which is a new team in itself as well, even without the context of Shirky's new addition. And these partnerships don't happen overnight, you know. It doesn't happen immediately, so not a problem for me. I get where you're coming from, though, Clark. I still don't really like Shirky dropping that far deep. I get it. I do get it. But my thoughts are that in his final form, he will be best closer to goal, in my opinion. I'm sure there is better wording, Monkey. But I don't give a damn. Yeah? Yeah? If you came for considered words, you're not on the right channel. Oh, dearie me. Big up to you, T-Blink. Hope you're having a beautiful night, matey. I love that from you. Is this like the XG in the first and second half? Yeah, so first half bad. 1.3. 0.2 second half. Much better. Much better. What's interesting is that we had 76% of the ball. I'd be very interested to know what the possession stat was for the first 25. It felt like it was not a lot for us. Has someone made it to your love list? Great question, Blaze. This is why you're on the channel. Yeah, if anyone is going to get there, it will be Ait Nori. It will be Ait Nori because he was my man of the match. We'll talk about in more detail when we get to the player ratings. But he was my man of the match, and I've either given Ait Nori man of the match or low key man of the match in the past 3 post-mortems that we've done. I think is amazing. I think he's been fantastic for us in 2026. Okay, he had a bit of a rocky start to his City career, got an injury, went to AFCON, was amazing. And that's also unlocking O'Reilly playing in midfield, in fairness, which is great. I think he's a very fun player. And I've got a... Look, as someone who... If I were a footballer... And guys, guess what? I'm not. But if I were... And again, I'll preface it. I know I look like the peak of athleticism and physicality and prowess. Shock, I'm not. But if I were, I would definitely be a left-back. So I've got a soft spot for attacking offensive left-backs. Kolarov was either I always go back and forth, but he's either my favourite or my second favourite City player ever, and he just is that personified. So if I were to be a player, I would be an attacking left-back, always running up and down, pointing crosses, etc. I don't have the tech of Ait Nori, in fairness. I'm bow-footed. That's because I'm equally as bad with both feet. However, you know, when you play one bounce and it's like you can only half volley with your weak foot, for argument's sake, I said, okay, I will say I am left-footed, but they're both equally as weak / equally as strong. So technically, I guess I'm like Shirky, but they're equally as weak. So I'm officially left-footed, but the right is just as good. It's just as bad. I do have a good cross on me, though. That's my one saving grace. I do have a good cross. So yeah, Ait Nori is the one who could move into love. Definitely, he could move into love. Because again, I like everyone, but Ait Nori is the one who, by the end of the season, he might be in the love category. He might be in the love category for real. Yeah, we spoke about that, Colin. Absolutely. If you want to go long, you've lost an outlet in Haaland, so I totally agree there, matey. Yeah, well, so yeah, Tahiti, I touched on that, the negativeness at the start, if you want to refresh that. Yeah, that's like, let's eat, Grandma. Commas save lives. I think we'll beat Madrid. Yes. And I don't actually think it's going to be that close. I think we'll beat them quite comfortably. Now, whether we'll do that to Bayern is another question, but I don't know why. I'm super confident. I'm super confident about that matchup. Yeah, I know he's beautiful. Right back's clear, left back's chill, Hadley. Chill. He's a little overrated. It's interesting, actually. I think the Kusanov is massively underrated by rival fans. Non-City fans, sorry. Although that has been changing recently. I think massively underrated. Because there was that period where commentators would not shut the fuck up about 5 minutes against Chelsea. You know, So it was massively underrated, sorry. So stupid. Now I wonder, has that now created a situation where City fans have pushed back and have gone too far the other way? Because I think that Cassano's in a rare situation. I think he's underrated by rival fans. I think he's overrated by City fans, generally, from what I see anyway. And I like Kassanov a lot, but he is... Is it still happening? There you go, Carl. And that's rubbish, obviously. So he's in a weird situation where I think he's both overrated and underrated at the same time. It's very odd. It's very odd. And again, I'm a big fan of Kassanov, but he's not better than Diaz. I think to suggest he is better than Diaz is overrating him personally. But I do like Kassanov, and I'll get into Diaz and I'll get into him. I think I've caught up on the chat there. Okay. Anything else to discuss before I move on to individual players more so? Doku being on the bench was good. It would have been nice for him to get some minutes, but that's fine. I thought Reinders looked nice when he came on, by the way. Reinders looked really tasty. Some of those touches were good. He was winning second balls. He was winning duels. He looked on it. He looked on it, so that was fantastic. That fantastic little cameo from him. I'm not streaming on Twitch. Am I streaming on Twitch, Lewis? Why are you in the Twitch chat, mate? I don't think I'm streaming on Twitch, am I? Come over to YouTube, you little weirdo. I can't see a chat unless I look at my screen here. Yes, Savio came on. He didn't really touch the ball that much. But that was one nice move that he did. He got a cheeky tactical foul, cheeky booking, killing time. He won a foul. He got us up the pitch one time. That was really nice. Just good for Savio to get any minutes, to be honest. You guys know I'm a big fan of Savio. I think he's going to be a fantastic player for us, hopefully. O'Reilly then. O'Reilly, because I feel like I've touched on basically everyone. I do want to touch on Kusanov and Diaz in a bit more detail. But before I do that, maybe I'll talk about O'Reilly a little bit. Yeah, he's massively coming into his own, isn't he? It makes a lot of sense that O'Reilly would be thriving in a more physically demanding, duel-heavy City side. And so it doesn't surprise me that he's thriving in that sense. But today, he was absolutely wonderful in respect of the finer details of the game as well. That touch that he did when the ball came into him, and then the touch to kill the ball, and then to spin, and I think it was intentional anyway, trying to play it into the path of Marmouche, was unbelievable. That was something I'd expect to see from Shirky, not Nico O'Reilly. Absolutely wonderful. There was another great moment. It was when we were struggling, and we did lose the ball after, but it wasn't O'Reilly's fault, where we were struggling to build out from the back. And O'Reilly, Bergkamp reaching Exali, and O'Reilly was doing these gorgeous little deft flicks to get City out of danger. I think that's improved massively this season, because you guys know at the start of the season, I was saying that, look, I think O'Reilly's left-back performances have been really good, but I still think that we need Aït-Nouri there, because I don't think that O'Reilly's technical competence is good enough right now, because we are having to build, we're worse building out centrally, so we have to go out wide more, so way more pressure gets put on the fullbacks. And you've got O'Reilly and Nunes, they're not especially excellent first touch fullbacks, but O'Reilly's been really adding that to his recent midfield performances in an area where it's even more important to have that level of technical solidity and assurance, sorry. So big up to O'Reilly. It's such a shame that he had to go off injured. Now, if he's injured for any significant period of time, I think that is probably detrimental to City's title chances if we continue to play in this setup in this way. He's pretty vital, because if O'Reilly isn't playing there, realistically, who do you have instead? You've got... Your options are... Doku, who is... just come back from injury himself. Now, that would be that's probably the best swap. You've got Foden. I don't want Foden playing in this current setup, realistically. Nico. And maybe you play Bernardo there. Well, I mean, and that works, I guess, but Pep's been very, very reluctant to play Rodri and Nico together, and I wonder if that's because he's concerned about putting too many eggs into one basket. Reinders, who did come on and did do well there, but again, he's not a player who, from this season, has been thriving in that sort of position when the game becomes physical anyway. So, we are restricted. We are quite restricted there outside of Doku, who is an outlet and can be that guy physically, but he's not got the same off-ball tenacity. I think that out of notice, this has been a very weird season. Lots of players have low-key become indispensable to what we are trying to be. Nunes, indispensable in respect to squad building. Nico O'Reilly in this setup is a little bit indispensable, certainly in the bigger games. No one can directly replace what he offers the City side. Foden can't do it, Reinders can't do it, Cherki can't do it, Doku can do it the closest, I would say. And what he offers on ball, maybe you can say that mitigates off ball, but no one can do it as a full package like O'Reilly can. So if he's out for an extended period of time, that's bad. If we continue to play like that, that's really, really fucking bad. Really fucking bad. That's a great question. Does your opinion on the Madrid tie change if we lose O'Reilly for both legs? Ooh, no, I think that if you have Doku there, not a problem. I think that'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Semenyo in that position, great shout, Cams. You might be right. You might be right. But then who do you have on the other side? Because today we had Semenyo and O'Reilly. So if you're moving Semenyo there, then who's taking Semenyo's place? Love that from you, Lewis. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Dunno. He would be Reinders' time to shine. If he can do it, he can do it. I think, yeah, that's a great point. Doku against Trent. Oh! I've no idea if it's serious or not, Josh. I was just spitballing. I've no idea what the situation is. I've got no information. I was just saying that if he is out for an extended period of time, we'll have a bad time. That's all I was saying. Because I think that he's somehow out of nowhere become a bit indispensable for this City side, which is a beautiful that an academy player is that. They're so fantastic. It was Foden's time in 23-24. O'Reilly's doing that this season. Both have been indispensable to us for very different reasons, very different players, but it's really good to see. So big up to O'Reilly for that. Big up to him for that, absolutely, because I did a short on this, didn't I? I thought that, because lots of people were asking, what is, and I think LB and I were chatting about it as well. I think LB said that, I think he was not wrong at the time. He was saying that, could O'Reilly, should he be pushing for a move? Because is he going to get any game time? And I was looking at it as, I think he'll be the best backup left back we have. And I think he'll be like, a fourth choice midfielder. And if he's happy with the squad role, then he'll stay. But that is clearly not what has happened. Now, circumstance has played a part. Of course it has. But he's got to take that opportunity, and he's absolutely done it. So massive credit. And that's another academy player. Rico, unfortunately, does need to go for his own sake. It's incredibly unlikely, from what I understand. ITK Nobbins, from what I understand, if a club comes in for Lewis with a reasonable offer, City will essentially bite their hand off, and Lewis will do the same. As I understand it, Lewis wants to leave, and City want Lewis to leave, which is incredibly upsetting, because I love Rico, but I'd be staggered if he were here next season, basically, is what I'm trying to say there. O'Reilly's made himself indispensable, though, so big up to him. And if Rico were taller, he'd feel more physical, but he's not, and that's a shame, and it's a massive shame. I think in another iteration of City, maybe, but not in this iteration, I think. Certainly not in this one. Maybe if Rico Lewis were coming through in at the same time Foden was, perhaps, but I don't think this iteration of City he's going to survive. Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it, True Citizen, I think. And I'd love to be proven wrong about that. I'd love Rico to fight back and prove his worth, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So that's a shame on Rico. That's a shame. Again, nothing's confirmed. No club has come in for him, as I understand it, but I'm just saying that if those things happen, then it's very unlikely that Rico stays, because he's not. Why would you be happy with how much game time you're getting? Whether it's justified or not, his game time is irrelevant. He's not playing football, and he wants to play football. Again, whether he deserves to play or not isn't relevant to whether he wants to stay, is it? So, unfortunately, I don't think he's got a City future, and that's such a shame because it's never nice when an academy player goes who's been at the club since he was, -3. But yeah, O'Reilly, big up to him. Fantastic work there. The last thing I want to do before we get into the player ratings properly, let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about Ruben Diaz. Now, I have spoken about this a lot in my off the ball video. I think that Ruben Diaz might be the most disrespected City player. By City fans, I mean. I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable with what's being said about him. I don't feel comfortable. It's very odd to me. It's very, very, very odd. I don't like the conversations around Diaz from a lot of City fans. He's done. He needs to be sold. He needs to be moved on. He's a net negative. He's finished. Doesn't offer enough. It's not for the first time, actually. It was also like last season as well, I guess. And was he great last season? Like, no, not really. But I'm sorry, he was world class in 2020-21, and he was world class the year after that. And he was world class the year after that. And he was great the year after that. And he wasn't good the year after that in a broken squad. Maybe Natanda, that's a good shout. And he's been very good this season. He's been very good this season. And, I forgot to change the profile. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for renewing your membership, matey. Your random footballer is John McGinn. Excellent pull. John McGinn's a great player. What was I saying? What was I saying? He was he like, I don't know. He was like arguably man of the match today. Now, he's not my man of the match because I gave it to White Nori. He's my low-key man of the match, though. I'm going to try to remember doing this. Ruben Diaz was my low-key man of the match. I'd have given it to White Nori. And you can argue Shirky maybe should have been given it. But I think most people would say Shirky. Diaz is my low-key man of the match. Especially in a City side where our backs are more up against the wall than they have ever been. Ever, ever, ever. We have to do more defending than ever before. This isn't opinion, by the way. This is fact. We are conceding more shots on goal than last season. So we're having to do more defending than ever before. In our own box than ever before. Holding on more than ever before. The perfect player for that is Ruben Diaz. He's our best box defender. Now, is he limited in other areas? Yes, absolutely he is. He's not as good on ball as Gehi or Gvardiol or Kusanov. Does he have the physical attributes of Kusanov or Gehi? No, absolutely not. And yet, he is still our best defending defender, in my opinion. I don't like the disrespect that's happening. Kusanov, I think, has got a higher ceiling than Diaz. And I think that if Kusanov stays at the club long enough, Kusanov will overtake Diaz. But right now, Kusanov is not better than Ruben Diaz. He just isn't. It makes a lot of sense for Diaz and Gehi to be the partnership. Right now, in my opinion, this is our best partnership. And if you're going to have a situation where you need to do more defending, you need to have your best defender there. And it's not even like he's bad in possession as well. Okay, there was a time where he gave away the ball here, but he's never been a liability or a net negative in respect of his on-ball work, ever. He's not as good as Gvardiol, obviously not, but he's never been bad. It's never been a problem. So I just wanted to say that real quick. I don't like what's going on with the Diaz discourse. I'm not a fan of that. I get it. Kusanov's very popular. I like Kusanov as well. And I get that people want to see more of Kusanov. But if the aim for us is to try to win as many games as possible from now until the end of the season, that would be best achieved with Ruben Diaz in the sides. Generally speaking, right now. I would not feel comfortable with Diaz not being in that back line if he's available, for a number of reasons. It's the leadership, it's the organisation, it's just the general knack of knowing when and where to be when the opponent has the ball, and when and where to be defensively, and that sort of thing. So I like Ruben Diaz, and I like all our players. In fact, no, I love Ruben Diaz, but I just wanted to say that because I just don't like what's being said about him, and I feel like it's very unfair and unjust what's going on. So I feel like I've got to say something here because it keeps happening over and over again. Like even to like today, people saying, "Why is Diaz starting? Why is Diaz starting?" I mean, Leeds are an incredibly physical side, and we're gonna probably have to do quite a fair bit of defending. Yeah, to be fair, Kova's the only one where it's like neutral because I just don't really care about Kovacic anymore, unfortunately, in 2026. I'm sorry to say that. So yeah. Big up Ruben. Great game today. Great game today. There will be some times where he is not the correct fit. It was the correct decision to take him off at halftime against Newcastle. He was on a yellow card. 1v1 against Gordon is a bad time. It makes a lot more sense for Kusanov to be there. But generally speaking, you need Ruben in the team, in my opinion. Shall we get into the play ratings? Or is there anything else we wanted to discuss before we do that? Let me know what you guys would like to see. Please, what the hell, mate? Do I like Calvin? You know what, Nicholas? I don't even consider him a City player anymore. I keep forgetting that this lad plays for our club, to be honest with you. I keep forgetting that he plays for us, so nah. Do I love Naipan? Nah, I don't know Naipan. I know of him, obviously, but I don't know enough about him. He's a City player, so I'll like at least be neutral, but I don't care. Do I love Trucism? What are these questions, mate? Why do you think they stopped pressing that hard beyond the 30th minute? It's a good question. I wonder if it's just because of because that is what happened. I really don't think it had anything to do with what we did. I think it was a conscious decision. I wonder if it's just because it's very physically challenging to press like that consistently. I mean, for any period of time, but never mind a whole half of football. So I wonder if they were thinking, right, we'll press for 25 or so minutes, see if we can get a result from that. They should have done. It worked. Their strategy worked, by the way. They didn't get the results, but we don't do results-based analysis on this channel. Leeds' strategy worked. It got them a big chance, and then another big chance, and then another big chance, and another big chance, etc., etc., etc. And I think that's it, True Citizen. I just don't think they could do it physically. So I think they probably went, right, it worked, but we didn't get the goal. Let's now back off, hang on, just defend for the rest of this first half. We'll get in at halftime, we'll reset, we'll go again in the second half. And then thankfully for us, we scored on the stroke of halftime. If we didn't, I don't know what would have happened there. I really don't know. Thankfully, we don't need to worry about that, but I don't know what would have happened if we didn't score that goal. So big up to Semenyo for that. I'd say Kusanov he played against Madrid and Diaz rested for the League Cup final, says Cams. Would Anderson have been key, says Barrett. I mean, he would improve this City side, so there's no doubt about it. Yeah, I agree, True Citizen. They were exhausted. Echeverry or McAtee? McAtee. I've got no... Again, it sounds like... I feel so bad when when I'm not positive about a player because I think that people think I'm a hater, but I'm not. But I've got no reason to care. This sounds... Oh, God, this is going to be a really mean thing to say. I've got no reason to care about Echeverry. Do you see what I mean? So my connection to McAtee was a lot stronger. He's not a City player anymore, obviously. But McAtee was an academy player, like a local lad, City fan. I've got no place. I've got no... what is this? There's a bug on me. Ugh, get off. I've got no... say affiliation. I've got no... attachment to Echeverry yet. Nothing's happened yet. So I need to wait and see if one can be formed. But so far, I've got no connection with him. Whereas I had a connection with McAtee because he was an academy player and played for us. He shuts up. Great profile picture, by the way. Is that a goat? Oh my God, guys, look, it's a picture of Kevin De Bruyne. That's crazy. Might be the most overrated performance I've ever seen, by the way. Oh my God. That performance is like made me like add a whole section into the Echeverry analysis video. I could not believe the reaction to that, man. It's so interesting which players certain fans flock to. It's very interesting. I think Echeverry as a concept's a very interesting player, but it's just like it wasn't that good, guys. The cameo wasn't that good. It was like fine. Oh dear. Yeah, that's a good point, True Citizen. Yeah. Diaz is your favourite. That's respectful. That's respectful. That's reasonable. Hell takes, says Barry. Yeah, respect him. Hello to you, 4 Prem in a row. How are you? How are you? Bro almost scored. Okay. Again, it was fine. People were acting like it was this coming of Christ performance. I was like, it's fine. But that's it. It was a good run, bad finish from him, but you know. Do we go for more individual defensive brilliance between Diaz and Cahill than the partnership with Diaz and Stones before? Sorry, do we go more or do we get more? Do we go more? Do we go more for individual defense? Sorry, are you saying that one is better than the other? I think Gahey's got a long way to go before he gets to Stones levels at IMO. Everyone was switched on. I was locked in. I was locked in when that break happened. Good lord. I don't think so either. And it's a shame, Matthias. It's a shame. Who knows what happens? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All he can do is do his best, and maybe there'll be a place for him. But I mean, especially in a more physical, if this is the approach we go for, even less chance, I think, that Echeverry remotely makes it here. Annan asks, do you see a way we can actually build up with Don against a better side who can exploit his on-ball weaknesses? Well, so far we haven't found a solution. We spoke about it earlier in the stream. If you weren't here at the start, you've missed that. An attempted solution was today to have both Rodri and Bernardo be Vitinha. Didn't work. So I'd be surprised. Enrique had him for 2 years and didn't bother. Pep Guardiola, despite his public calls, has put our 2 best build-up players in the box with him, and it still didn't really work. So I don't really know if there is a solution to that, based on what we have anyway, unless football changes again. Yeah, I don't know, mate. To be honest, I don't know, matey. I don't know. Is Gahey undroppable? Yes. Yes, definitely. With Gvardiol out, it's not even a question. Gahey's one of the first names on the team sheet. Not even a question. Not even a question at all. Not even a question. Shirky versus Spain, Echeverry versus oh dear. Oh yeah, don't spam. See, I was gonna answer your comment and then I saw you spammed. Now I'm not gonna answer it, I'm afraid. You got to be taught a lesson. Got to be taught a lesson. Right, shall we get on to the player ratings, guys? Shall we have a chat about the player ratings? This is via the Finalysis app. You can download the Finalysis app at your convenient app store. Go do it, I reckon. What a plug. Right. Let's do it, shall we? So, we're going to start from the back, as we always do. Start from the back. Now we're here. Please, shut up. Right. We're going to finalise the match. We start from back to front, as we always do on these streams. I'm going to repeat the parameters. no one's going to be like, I'm not going to talk about like the lower ones because there's no need. Excuse me. But what we're saying, 50 is average, or 5. 60 is above average. 70 is good. 80 is great. 90 is brilliant. 100 is perfect. You can give your answers as 5 points or just 2-digit numbers. I don't care. As long as I'm saying 2 digits, unless you think it's a full 5, that's not necessarily a problem. But let's start from the back. Let's go through each individual. We'll talk about the performance a little bit more. So, Donnarumma. Again, starting from the back. Didn't have anything too tricky to deal with. I thought he did do well from that Aronson attack. It was offside, though, but he still did well, so I'm still going to give him credit for that. Apart from that, I can't remember him making any actual saves. I thought Darlow was actually the goalkeeper who impressed the most in respect to shot stopping. So Donnarumma had very little to do with shot stopping. We have spoken about the issues that he has added to this team, and he was unfortunately a key factor in our poor opening performance. But I don't like to try to rate Donnarumma based on that. Sometimes it's impossible to ignore, but I don't really like to try to use that as a rating unless it's properly detrimental, in which case I will. But we didn't really have any control in the game, and that was a thing. It was offside, Elias, and I will say it was probably more of an Aronson error, but I will still give him some credit, absolutely. So I'm thinking nothing too crazy here, nothing too crazy. He didn't make any, I don't think he made any like traditional goalkeeping errors that I can really think of. I thought it was fine. Caught a throw in, yeah. I don't think he made, I thought he was all right. There was like one punch he did, which was quite good. So I thought like the cross claiming, I don't think he had much to do, but what he did do was fine. If any of those shots did go in, if any of those shots were on target from Leeds, it wouldn't have been his fault if they went in. There's nothing he could have done. There was just one moment that frustrated me, and that was where he should have come out to sweep against Calvert-Lewin, and he didn't. That was the only error. And even then, that's questionable as to whether it was an error. So yeah, it was a good slap. Genuinely, I was actually impressed with that. I thought it was a really clever move. So I'm going to give him something beginning with a 6. I'm not going to say he had a good game because I felt that he had not that much to do. And I will dock him some points. I'm not going to base it all on that, obviously. What were you guys saying though for this? For me, I'm going to start it with a 6. Get your things in the chat, please. 6, 60, 80. 7.5, 6, 100, 6 eighths, 71, 55, 55, 7, 10, 5 eighths. What is this, guys? What is this? 6.9. I'm gonna go 62. I'm gonna go 62 personally. Post-match celebrations +5. Tony Howe 6%. I'm going 6.2 as well. I like that. Okay, Ruben Diaz. My low-key man of the match. Low-key. Okay, a bit of a shaky start, sure. Wasn't the best on the ball, but was an absolute rock outside of it. I don't really know what else there is to say about that. I thought he was aerially imposing. I thought he put his body on the line really well. He caught Leeds offside a couple of times also. That was really good organisation of his defensive line. We have been keeping tabs on his aerial duels this season. 1 out of 2. Not the best, not the worst. Won the vast majority of his ground duels. Also, I know it wasn't intentional, but that shot, which would have turned into an unbelievable assist, was amazing. Oh yeah, to be fair, that I didn't talk about that. I don't know if you guys were here for the watch along. I think I just didn't say anything for about 30 seconds after this. I was so annoyed. Yeah, Diaz is getting a high rating from me, I'll be honest, chat. He's getting a very high rating. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know. 83, 80, 7.8, 8, 85 to 90, strong, 85, Diaz 67, 76, kind of gritty games where Diaz shines. Yeah, this is his bread and butter. This is his bread and butter, 100%. My man of the match says John, 7.4, 7.5, 8.8, 79. Hello, Spencer. Ball carrying was oddly good. Great question. I can't remember, Elias. Which one was that, matey? Can you let me know? Great profile picture, by the way. I think 67, 87, 8.3. Ruben. Yeah, I thought that Ruben had a good game. High 7 for me. I'm not going to say great, because he did give away the ball, and it was a little bit stinky. So I'm not going to say he had a great game overall, but I'm going to give him a high 7. I'm going to say 78 for Ruben. I might go back and amend some of these, but I'm going to say that. Okay. Gahey. Very good game defensively. Some questionable moments in possession, though. More so than Diaz. Now, it may well have been a foul. Absolutely. And we'll never know. Because the goal wasn't scored, so we won't know by going to VAR. Calvert-Lewin pushed him, and he fell over, and then Calvert-Lewin should have scored the goal, I think it was. Now, if that was a foul, I can't criticise Gahey for that, because he got fouled. I don't know if it would have been given as a foul, and when I looked at that, I thought, that's weak, and he's gone to ground too easily there. Now I don't know, because we just saw Gabriel against Spurs, a breath of air blew him over, and that was given as a foul. So, applying that logic, Gahey was fouled. I don't know that, though, so I'm not going to hold it against him, but I'm also not going to rule it out entirely, to be honest. Again, if it went to the old VAR, maybe it gets ruled out, maybe it's irrelevant. But I'm going to half consider it. It's not going to be anywhere near as high as Ruben, but I still think it's not going to be a low rating. It's not going to be a low rating at all. Yeah, his aerials were good. Let's have a look at his exact data. He was very aggressive as well. We know we do like that. Oh, he should have scored a goal as well, shouldn't he? It was a very good save, to be fair. Could Gahey have got more on that? Question mark. Maybe. Forced a very good save, though, from the goalkeeper. Same aerial duels as Ruben, to be fair. 1 out of 2. But he was nice and aggressive. Goal threats. Didn't score, unfortunately, but perhaps he should have done. What are you guys saying? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I promise there will be a Gahey analysis video. I know I've said it before. It's been a very stressful time in the life of Nobbins recently for a number of reasons. Hence, I took this week off. So please bear with me. It will be out late. We already know what Gahey is as a player. I'm wondering if I should even work on it, to be honest with you, sort of. But I'll keep working on it eventually. It will come out at some point. What are you guys saying about Gahey? 75. 61, 65, 69, 72, 77, solid 7, 7.2, 62, 82, 7.7, 7 square root over 3 is a third over here. 7.2. Oh gosh. I'm gonna give him a high 6 personally. I'm gonna go 68. Yeah, 68. Ainuri was my man of the match. So this is going to begin with an 8. Got the assist. Brilliant run from him. Brilliant cross from him. Defensively elite today as well. A couple of shaky moments potentially for him. He dealt with them expertly. Can't recall him making too many errors, if indeed any. Put into some impossible situations in respect of those first 20 or 25 minutes. There's very little he could have done there. I know he's unlocked to O'Reilly. That's a good way of putting it, for sure. He had that one shot which I thought was maybe going in. Oh my god. He won all of his grounds duels, and he won all of his aerial duels. Like, this is just an unbelievable defensive display from him, actually. That's probably his best defensive display. Dealt with the booing. Good point, Hadley. Yes, absolutely, because that was literally directed at him. And that, I don't know how that impacts you at all. That's horrible. So yeah, you're absolutely right. He had to play through Islamophobic pricks. That's a very good point. Created the best chance of the game, of course. Defensively elite. didn't really put a foot wrong. I agree, Nando. I agree, by the way. Yeah, this is going to be a... I think I'm going to go for a mid-8. I'm going to go 85, personally. Nah, 86. That's a strong game from him. It's a very strong game. He contributed offensively. He was excellent defensively. Yeah, 86. 86 I'm going for there. What have you guys say? Yeah, 8.7, 7.4, 88, 8.8, 8.5, 8.8, 10 from Clip, 8.8. Spencer Mark says 8.4. Yeah, it's got to be something with an 8, hasn't it? The one that happened to touch Nunes. Yeah, I mean, people just like to cry for the sake of crying, don't they? 86 is too low, do you think? I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. Nunes, who was also, I think he had a good game. I think he had a good, solid game. A great block. A great block. Against that Calvert-Lewin chance. Calvert-Lewin took it too far, but Nunes dealt with it still. That was really good. That was really nice. Offensive threat as well. Was he the one that crossed the ball for O'Reilly's header, actually? So he could have had an assist as well. So he was offensively also excellent in that sense. Didn't win as many of his individual battles as Aït-Nouri, but still very good defensively. Stop stealing my thoughts, as please. I do what I want. I do what I want. Yeah. So this is going to be another decent rating. What are you guys saying for Nunes? Yeah, never a handball. Never a handball. No, no, no. No, 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 no. 10 out of 10 says Tony Howe for that. 8.5. 82. 7.5. 7.8. Nunes Aït-Nouri, best fullback pair in the Prem, will fight you. 8.1. What about Donnarumma? Without him, we would not even be in the top 4. 78. Same as usual. Yeah, big up to Nunes. 7.1 if those crosses went to Haaland. And hey, one went to O'Reilly. And he nearly scored a goal from it. He should have scored a goal from it. 7.8, 7.9. Yeah, I'm thinking something with a 7. Well, I gave Diaz a 78. I don't want to give him anything higher than Diaz. I'm going to give him a 76. I give him 76 there. I think that's good. I think that's good. Could have had an assist. Could have had an assist. We're still defensively solid as well. Just didn't quite tickle my fancy as much as Aït-Nouri did on that other side. Okay, Rodri's going to be a really weird one to rate. Because there were some moments where he was excellent at playing out from the back and giving City that control and measure in the game. There were also some moments, especially in that first half, where he was dog shit and kept giving the ball away for no goddamn reason. And he was so not on it. So this is a weird one, because second half, lovely. I can't really remember too many errors in the second half. First half, though, I just don't know what he was doing at times. It was very unusual. Very unusual at times in that first half. So when he was on it, beautiful. City had a great time. But he kept giving it away all the time. So I don't really get what was going on in that first half. Thankfully, he sorted himself out. But he gave it away in a lot of dangerous areas. A lot of dangerous areas. And it says that he only misplaced 10 passes. I guarantee all 10 of those were dangerous, though. He made a block, good point. Yeah, he was much better in that second half. Yeah, defensively good, aerially good. Came more into his own as the game went on. But this, I'm not going to give him a high rating because of that really sloppy and lackluster. Really lackluster first half, to be honest with you. It probably is Blaze, isn't it? He's still coming off from a massive ACL injury. I'm not going to be too harsh on him. But I think on balance, maybe I can say he had a good game, maybe, because the second half was so good. But I'm personally putting it as an even 70 because there were too many bad moments in that first half, in my opinion. Too many bad moments in the first half. Again, really good second half. No doubt about that. That's the thing, though, Hydro. It's not just misplacing passes, it's the value of those misplaced passes. They led to some very, very stinky situations for us. So I'm going to say he had a good game, 70, but it's a good thing he patterned up in that second half. What did you guys say for that? 7? 86, my man of the match, says George. 75, 7.4, 71, he did make a mistake, 72, he did control the tempo well after those stinky moments, and those are those stinky moments, 63, 7.5, 67. Yeah, I think 70 is reasonable for that. I think that's reasonable. 82 for Yazam. That's very high, fair enough. Shirky. Beautiful pre-assist for the... or second assist, whatever term you want to use, for the goal. He read the run of Aït-Nouri fantastically well. He was always trying to create something for us. We know that's what Shirky's game is. But, like... Wait, what slang, Clark? Let me know what slang. I will also say this. I thought Shirky had a very fun game. A very fun game. I will also say that there were some very frustrating moments, though, where he either made a forward pass where he just had to play it simple, or where he was, or like where he was trying to dribble out of his own defensive third. I think you've just said it there. Yeah, it was very late in the game. We needed to kill it, and he's trying to dribble out of danger in his own defensive third. That's not what I need. So this will come with time, but he needs a pattern up, yeah. But he needs to pattern up. It will come. It will come. It's just about decision making. This is what Kevin De Bruyne was. He knew when to make those risks and when to make those beautiful plays. He does need to learn to chill. Maturity, that's all it is. I'm a big defender of Shirky. I think I'm one of his biggest fans, to be honest. My analysis video of him is my most positive video on the channel to date. Beautiful player, and I love him. But I will accept that needs to get better. That does need to get better. But he was massively involved for the goal, and there was lots of very good moments. So this is still going to be a good rating for him. It's still going to be a good rating for him. And I think it's going to start with a 7 for me. It's not going to start with an 8, unfortunately, because I can't ignore the annoying moments, unfortunately. And I think on balance, that's fair. But let me know what you guys think. 61, that's quite low. 78, 70. Shadow Blaze, absolutely. Yeah, gave it the ball at the end. He was ball hungry like at Leon, which is sometimes good. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. 79, 73, 75, 74. What did I give? I gave Nunes 76. I don't think he had as good a game as Nunes. So I'm going to give him 7. But I thought he had a better game than Rodri. So I'm going to give him 73. I'm going to give him that. Oh, when he's warm, when he's in that flow state, as you guys say, when he's flowing, yeah, he's popping off. Bernardo Silva. Excellent dive. It was a foul, but my word, did he milk it? But you've got to milk it, otherwise you don't get the decision. And we didn't even get the decision. Yeah, it's. I don't really know what else there is to say about Bernardo Silva at this point. It was just a very standard Bernardo Silva game, which is a good thing. You need these players in your team, especially when you've got a Shirky on the pitch. We know how much Bernardo Silva provides and sacrifices when Shirky is on the pitch. It's not a dig at Shirky, it's just a reality. It does take away from Bernardo's game elsewhere, but it shows what a fantastic utility player he is. This was just like the epitome, great good point, Blaze, yeah. It's just the epitome of a classic good Bernardo Silva game. No one will talk about that performance, really. But he did the simple stuff correct. He recycled possession well. He tried to help with the build-up at the back as well by popping into the box. I think that's right, Hadley. Bernardo Silva's never going to get fairly rated by me as well, in fairness. But that's like as big a compliment as you can give for a performance like that, I think. Just do your job, be a good player, let those around you. He's a facilitator. How many times have we said that he is a facilitator of these sides? Shuki out possession is getting better though. Don't know if I agree. He was used in a very easy off-ball role today. He was used as one of the forwards too. So he was used how Haaland's normally used, which is very, very straightforward. It's more about positioning than intensity. And partner with Marmoush, I think it works a lot, in fairness, and then supported by Semenyo and Bernard. So big up to Bernardo for that. I'm going to give him a 70. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. 10 for shithousery. It's just a good game from him. A good, solid game. Actually, no, I can't do that because I gave Rodri 70. Now I'm going to give Bernardo 71. I don't feel comfortable saying that Bernardo had as good a game as Rodri. I think Bernardo was better. So 71 for Bernard. Okay. Nearly done, guys. Nico O'Reilly. Good night, true assistant. Have a good evening. Nico O'Reilly. Oh, he was on course. He was on course to being man of the match. Yeah, we're doing player ratings and joke. He was on course to being man of the match, you know. The injury happened. He didn't score the goal. Such a shame for him, but he was the best, arguably the best player in that first half for us. It was absolutely wonderful. It's a good question, Colin. I don't actually know the answer to that. Yeah, could have scored the goal, but kept it tight defensively, linked up wonderful offensively. Didn't complete the whole game, which is a shame. But I actually felt that he had a better game than Shirky. TBH. I gave Shirky 73, so I'm going to give him something like that. What are you guys saying, though? What are you guys saying for this? A 78, an 81, an 80 maybe. I'm feeling a cheeky 70. I'm going to go 75 because I think Nunes had a better game, actually, overall, across the full 90 because of the injury. So I'm going to do that. Last two, guys. We're approaching 90 minutes because I sort of want to wrap this up relatively swiftly. Marmoush is up next. Quiet game. Quiet game from Omar, would you say? I can't really remember him doing that much. He was tenacious at times. That was nice. He ran. Yep, good point. Good point. Off-ball threats. Had a couple of pop shots. Yeah, the pressing was good. Tricky one to judge because he didn't have much of the ball. He's matching the physicalities, his technique. Good point. Yeah, he runs relentlessly. Yeah, and we needed that, so that's a good point. I'm not going to give him a low rating. I just don't think I can give him a good rating. That's all. 5. What? Olive, what are these things? Movement was good. He told Shirky where to pass to White Nori. That's fairs. That's reasonable. I think I'm going to start it with a 6, though, to be fair. I probably am. Like a medium 6. So, for example, I gave Gahey 68. I can't make it as high as Gahey. I'm thinking like maybe 60. Yeah, you guys saying 65, 64. I'm going to go 64. 3. You can get the full Ramadan boost. Yeah, he also had to deal with those twat boos as well, of course. He gets an extra point for that. 64. And then finally, Semenyo, the goal scorer, the match winner. Brilliant outlet, fantastic off ball, played the right side of the diamond. Out of possession. Anything else to say about him? Of course, scored the goal. Great movement. He's just got a taste for it. He's got a knack for being in the right place at the right time. Ari goals. He is a goal scorer. At the end of the day, he is a goal scorer. And he won us the game. So, final one, guys. What are we saying for Semenyo? What are your ratings for Ant-Man? What are your ratings for Ant-Man? Let me know. Everyone in the chat, get involved. Olive, mate. 75, I did what we bought him for. Good point, Blaze. 20 with the ball, 80 without. So what, like 50 overall. Naveen says 80. 7.4 for Elias. Semenyo's better at winning a duel than actual 1v1 dribbling. Yeah, he's not a 1v1 dribbler, so that does make sense. 87.4. I'm thinking a high 7 or a very low 8. He did ultimately score the goal to win the game for us. Do I think he had a better game than Shirky? Do I think he had a better game than Nunes? I don't think he had a better game than Diaz, actually. I gave him a 78. So I can't go higher than 78. I've locked myself in there. I'm thinking he had a maybe a cheeky 77. Maybe he had a cheeky 77. Don't know though. Is that too high? It is an important goal. It's a good point. And ultimately, that's the reason why we've won the game. He missed a chance. Was that the offside one though? Or no? Yeah. Sometimes a goal that wins you the game can be, especially if you sign the player for that reason, that has to come into play, actually. So yeah, I'm going to go 77 because he was the match winner, so I'm going to give him a couple bonus points for that. That does up the rating. I think that's fair to say. I'm not going to rate the subs. Pep Guardiola, though. Pep Guardiola? What are we saying for Pep? I think he's going down this route with that. So the starting 11 made sense. Shirky playing instead of Haaland, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't really have any problems with the setup. He's using the tools that we have. I don't really have a problem with Pep. We can rate Savia 100. Yeah, I'm gonna just give Pep a down the road 7. And last one, guys. What are we gonna rank Peter Banks, the referee? They've added shout out Ryan. I thought he did well. They've added referees. What are we gonna rate Peter Banks? I can't remember any big controversial decisions. There were some 50-50s where maybe they could have gone our way, but hairline is diabolical. Yeah, 100%ing Farkov. Yeah, in fairness, big up to him. Big up to him for doing that. Yeah, Jish, he deserves bonus points for that. I highly rate that. 100 for the goal he put top in. It's funny that they've added ranking referees. I don't know why they've done that. It's funny, though. Honestly, 80 some referees would cave in to give that penalty, says Elias. That's fairs. I felt that he had a good game. You mean Peter put it in the Banks? Yeah, you know what? I'd give him a 70, but the aura of sending off Fark, yeah, or Farker, I'm going to give him an extra 10, so he gets an 8 from me. Yes. Yes. Okay, how do I submit my analysis? There we go. Bot. Analysis submitted. Yes. Big up. Big up, big up, big up. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, excuse me. And on that note, guys, it's EP time for your boy. I'm a tired chap. It's been a long day for your boy. I'm now going to go edit an off the ball video. It's just going to be this, but a bit more compressed, compact. So go watch that after this. Go give it a like. If you joined late, go watch that video because it will summarize my thoughts in about 10 to 15 minutes, something like that. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed today's show. I know I bloody did. If you would like to support the channel, hey, why not consider becoming a member of the channel? The best way to support me is to do so, well, first of all, by liking the video and actually turning up to the streams. But if you want to go the extra mile, the absolute best way to do that is to join the YouTube membership or the Patreon. The link is there. The link for all my supporting things is there. One more thing to say, actually. Let's say LNobbins, you know, I don't want to do that. Or I just can't. Hey, do you use Amazon? This is a weird thing. If you click this link, if it hops up, if you click that link, and then like the next few days buy anything off Amazon, I get some money. So click that link. Maybe you'll buy something off Amazon like the next few weeks or something, and I'll get a cheeky commission on that. So if you want to support me without even having to directly do so, you can do so indirectly via Amazon if you do indeed use the app. Shout out to all of my Shout out to all of my beautiful supporters across the YouTube membership. Love that from all of you. Look at all these gorgeous, beautiful, sexy names. I can't even fathom how cute these people are. Don't worry about that, Naveen. Depends on the product in it. So shout out to all of you for helping support the channel, make this a reality. Big tech taking over the channel. Always, 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 always. Yeah, so shout out to everyone. Big up to all of you for your support. Thank you for watching. Hope you got some value out of it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye.